Welcome everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Reardon and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about the blueprint to build the $1 million business, the $1 million you. This is going to be something that you might read and you might listen to this episode and you're going to say, that's not going to create the $1 million you. Well, statistically it will. Most people are not willing to put themselves in a long-term detriment, meaning they're not willing to feel pain for a very long time. Or they're not willing to sacrifice for a very long time. Most people, they will love to have things given to them. Most people will love to have it easy. When it comes to being successful, like truly successful, like mansions and yachts and stuff, you have to sacrifice at some level, at some point in your life. It might be time with the family. It might be comfort sitting on the sofa instead of watching movies and TVs. You're working in the business. I can't tell you how many days and nights I would love nothing more than to lay down on the beanbag, to go out on a beach and just relax and just chill. I understand at some point in my life I will do that. But for now, it is a grind. It is a full throttle effort, all hands on deck. And I am excited for it. It's not so much of me saying, you know what, I'm not going to do the things I'm supposed to do because I want to be comfortable. If you are in that mindset of comfort, you need to ask, well, what is life to you? Is it to struggle? Is it to work a 9 to 5 and just to make ends meet? Or is it to be in abundance and to live a prosperous life? Most people, they want the prosperity, but they're not willing to put in the work. So today we're going to learn how to put in the work. Today we're going to learn the strategies and the methods that you can apply in your life today and how to build $1 million you and $1 million business if you want to be an entrepreneur. So let's get into my most recent blog, How to Build the $1 Million Business in the Evenings. All right, everyone, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and to share this episode and the whole entire podcast to help build a community of like-minded individuals who are interested in personal development and changing their life. When we are looking at the blueprint to build the $1 million you, the $1 million business, we're going to do it at a specific time of the day. Now, here I talk about the evenings because I'm going to be focusing more on my 9 to 5ers, where we waste time. The reason why I'm focusing on this and not the morning, because there is an aspect to build $1 million business in the morning. That's a pretty simple notion. We can actually talk about it. We can make this a 2-for-1 special. The first we will talk about is the morning, and then we could talk about the evening. I find the morning to be a lot more simple because you're just supposed to wake up early. Now, what time do these people wake up? 5, maybe 4 in the morning. You get to decide when you want to wake up. I will say the most successful people, they wake up early because if they can win in their morning, they can win at every moment of their day. This just means what time do you go to bed, right? Sometimes they don't go to bed until maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, but they still wake up at the right amount of time. They might take a nap during the day, but they still give themselves the discipline to wake up early, to go to bed on time, to not simply waste their evenings away watching movies and on their phones. It is easy to not take action. Taking action is the hard part. So in this blog, we're talking about how to build the $1 million business, how to build $1 million you. We do it by the evenings, but in the morning, if you just reflect to it, as I was saying, the morning is going to be just wake up early and to do the things that you're supposed to do. Not wake up and go on your phone and start playing some games or start looking on social media. Maybe if that's your job, okay. But start to make a difference. And typically through social media, you're not going to be making a difference unless you have a business and you're posting things, etc., etc. Not just scrolling mindlessly, watching the next reel or TikTok or short. Find a purpose for your morning. That could be going to the gym. That can be writing and journaling, preparing for the day. That can be something that's going to benefit you for the rest of the day. The reason why I wrote this blog for the evening is because I want to have a specific conversation today. And I want to talk about how people use their evening in the mindset that kind of comes after working a 9 to 5. I talk all about it in the blog. I am going to be making it very simple today. I'm going to be breaking it down in this episode where we're going to be learning and understanding, well, why is the evening a prime time for us to take action? Because it's going to have maybe the most significant aspect or change on our mindset. The morning is going to have a great aspect for discipline in our mindset. But if we can control our mindset in the evening, we're going to get rid of all of the complacencies, comforts, ideals, societal norms that we were given, and we are going to start to dismantle them. And you're going to see that when you do that, you're going to be more proactive in the morning naturally. So we're going to focus on the evening because it's going to help our morning out just naturally. So now that we had a quick look at the blog, we can start to now dissect what the blog is saying. And we don't have to use the blog. The blog is just going to give a different aspect to building the business. It's going to give some more examples. But today we're going to be just looking at the evening aspect and how it correlates to all parts of our life. The first is when you find a job, a career, you're 9 to 5, right? You might not truly want to be there. It might just be a paycheck. Maybe you pick that job because it's going to give you some money. Maybe you pick that job because it's something that you were told to do. But is it meaningful to you? Most people, they pick jobs because of circumstance, because of the path that they were told they had to go on. More people who are entrepreneurs and millionaires are people who did not want school, who did not want education, because they said, this is not what I want. I want to do something on my own. I want to build something myself. Those people have a different type of mindset. But then you have the people who are just, the cogs in the wheel, the people who just kind of follow blindly. They follow the system. And there's nothing wrong if you want to be a 9 to 5er by choice. But most people don't even realize they have a choice. They might say, I have to be a lawyer. I have to be a doctor. I have to be an accountant. And that's what they do. But they might not truly love their job. They come home, they sit on the sofa, they're just tired, mentally drained from their day. Your job should not mentally drain you to the point where you don't want to take action. You should be excited to take action. Now, I will say, even if you are in a job that you love, a field that you admire, there are going to be days when you're just burnt out, days when you just need a rest. That's just being human. But we learn how to navigate through the burnout. We learn how to navigate through those struggles. But we don't give up. We don't say, oh man, let me find a coping mechanism. And you might be in that burnout and you use coping mechanisms, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it be. You try to find a remedy to feel better or to get a sense of elation, a little high that is going to say, you know what? You are doing the right thing because you feel good because you're drinking and you're doing this and it's helping you get by. But it's difficult when you're giving yourself these substances for the long term. We're trying to not only give ourselves a good today, but a good tomorrow. If you just patch everything together and everything's a Band-Aid, you're going to find that you're going to be struggling more long term than if you just fix the situation today. When we get that 9 to 5 job, we might be super happy we got a job that can pay the bills, that can give us the house that we want to live in, that can give us the lifestyle, the cars and everything. But how long until that job just becomes another day, another Tuesday? Because if you remember at the onset of something new in your life, a relationship, maybe something new, a new toy, car, house, whatever, you're so excited. And eventually that item, whatever you purchased, that moment, it just becomes another experience that you're living. When we are living in those moment-to-moment types of happiness, we're always trying to get to the next one as quick as possible. What happens is we develop a tolerance to living in the moment, being present, and then being happy. But when we're trying to build $1 million business, we also build an intolerance to take action. So similar to how we want everything more happiness and it requires more and more and more, you have to understand the same thing is going to require that same level of consistency and discipline if you want to build a business. I have found that when you are doing your work and you might be saying, okay, I want to start a business. This is the business. I want to do some online stuff. This is what I want to do. You might create a schedule. You might make the goal. You might do everything that you're supposed to do. But then in a couple months, maybe a year, you're like, well, I'm getting burned out. I'm getting tired. We have to learn how to rest, not quit. So when we have our evening time and we get into the evening from our 9 to 5, you might be mentally drained. You might be tired. You might have other obligations like family or soccer or football or whatever. And you have to make a choice. Do you choose that or do you choose the business? Is there a way, can you do both? Yes, but something is going to have to give. Something is going to be sacrificed at some point. We only have 24 hours in our day. If you want to focus on family, let's say there's soccer games every Thursday and Friday. You might say on Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to focus on building my $1 million business. I'm going to focus on my family because that's going to be more beneficial to me long term than just $1 million business. I understand my $1 million business can take care of my family, but my family comes first, right? It takes priority. Depends on the person. I know people who would sacrifice family time just to make their name out there sooner than later, right? Can it have a positive effect? Yes. Can you balance it? Yes, it worked. I've seen it work, but I have also seen it fail. For some reason, there's a notion where people think, oh, my kids can just wait for me. Oh, my kids are just going to be happy when I give them all the stuff that I'm going to give them, right? Money, right? So I'm going to go make a bunch of money so I can give them a bunch of stuff. That's great and all. You made $1 million business. You're doing well for yourself, but your kids want nothing to do with your money. They want your time. They want your attention. But yet, we have to make a sacrifice at some point, right? As I was saying. So when we get off from our 9 to 5 job, typically you go home, you have to eat, maybe you have to do some errands, grocery shopping, etc., etc. You have from, let's say, 5:30 to 6:30 to kind of do maybe some of the main priority things you have to do as soon as you get home. Let's assume you have to do a commute, a 30-minute commute, but some people are working from home. So they get to get up at 5 and literally they're off at work at 5. So what do you do the moment you get off for work? The majority of people today, they go on their phones, they go in front of TV, they watch a movie, they watch a series, they do something that's not proactive. There are going to be some people, right, the minority, that are going to say, okay, now I can go to the gym. Now I can go do some errands really quick and then come home and start, working on my personal stuff. There are going to be people like that. But more people are going to focus on comfort things, right? The things that are going to make them feel most comfortable. We want comfort. We want to be in a sense of happiness, but sometimes we have to put in some extra effort. Typically, people who work a 9 to 5, they develop a mindset of, well, I did my work. I already clocked in for the day. I'm done working. However, the notion that I'm spelling today and I'm saying today, the $1 million business that you're creating is done in the evening. So even after you have worked in your day, you basically give yourself a new notion. I'm not done working. I have more to do. I have stuff to do for me personally. You just did 8 hours for a boss. Why not do a couple hours for yourself or for your family? Why sit on the sofa and waste time? I was watching a video, and this is of one of the motivational speakers or a coach, a business coach. And this is an older video. I'm not sure if it's like Zig Ziglar or something like that. But it was a guy, he was talking about the TV. And he asked the guy, how much is this TV? And the guy says, well, the TV cost me about $500. The coach was like, are you sure it only cost you $500? And he's like, yeah, it cost me $500. Here's a receipt. So then the coach was like, no, that TV's costing you way more than $500. It's probably costing you thousands of dollars every single month, maybe millions of dollars a year. So we start to look at, well, why is this TV so expensive? The price tag says $500, but realistically, how many hours do we spend in front of that TV? If you calculate how much you get per hour and you times that by how much you watch in TV, that's going to be a huge amount of money. We have to look at the notion of we can be using that time for something better. But then you might say, Michael, it's so hard to push yourself and it's so hard to become disciplined and it's so hard to do it when you're tired. Hey, I understand it's difficult to do it when you're tired, but you have to show up when you don't want to show up. You have to jump when you don't want to jump. Those are going to be the moments that transcend you to the life that you're looking for. the $1 million lifestyle, the house, the cars, the things that are not going to bring you happiness, but the things you want. There's nothing wrong with having aspirations and goals. I want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with having those dreams and ideals. But when you're doing it, you do it with a purpose of the goal, not so much of the destination. So if you're looking at life for the small moments of glory, the moments that you think you're going to be most happy, you're going to learn, maybe I should just focus on what I'm looking to accomplish, right? Typically, if you have a business, it's not only to make money. Typically, people, they get into a business because of an emotion. I don't have Reven concepts because it's something that's going to make me, oh yeah, this is going to be the get rich quick scheme, and this is going to be so good. This is going to be like the spinners. Everyone loves the spinners and stuff like that. Those are great inventions. People love them. You make millions, if not billions of dollars off those inventions, and it's a trend for a certain amount of time. What I'm selling is an opportunity for greatness at any level, at any point in your life. And I understand that the school system is not going to be effective and efficient enough to help people growing up all the way to when they're adults and they're trying to get their life back on track and in order. The school does not do that. I was a teacher. It will not do that. I don't foresee it doing it. Are they going to dismantle the school system? No, they are not. Almost for the past 200 years, the school system has been the same. Yet the cars we drive, the homes we live in, they have all evolved. They have all changed. Why do you think the schools do not change? I'm sure parents start to see it. The pandemic has shown it. Why are schools not changing? And it's because, simple, schools are not built to make $1 million people or $1 million businesses. They're made to build workers that help people get their $1 million business up and running and keep on running. We're not having an immigration crisis currently in America because of a bad president. We have an immigration surplus right now. It's because many Americans, they decide to put their career first. Now there's not enough workers for these big conglomerates. People don't want to work. If you remember, maybe a year ago, there was a shortage of workers. How does that happen? Pregnancies, births are low because many people today in our generation are putting their life on hold. Career first, family later. There's nothing wrong with that notion. But guess what? Now there's less workers. Well, who can we get as workers? Oh, people who want to come into the United States, of course. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from Mexico. You can come from Egypt. You can come from South Africa. You can come from anywhere in the world. Colombia, Brazil. We want you because we understand that if we're business owners, we're business people, we need workers. That is one of the big concerns, right? We don't have enough workers today because many people are trying to start their own thing. They're doing their YouTube stuff. They're doing their content. A lot of women are doing OnlyFans right now. They're making money. However, the $1 million business is not so much about simply making money. It's about also making a life and creating a future. So the futures that we are trying to create may be filled with abundance. We have to look at the cause and the effect of what we do. If we sacrifice our evenings from 7 to 11, is what I'm talking about in this blog, what are we losing? Maybe some comfort, maybe some moments with our family. Maybe you might not be able to sacrifice 7 to 11, right? Because you have to go to football games every evening. So you might only have from 9:30 to 12. So you have less time. That means less sleep, maybe less time with your family. The kids are going to bed, hopefully by 10 o'clock. You have an hour to develop yourself. And there's different ways you can develop yourself in the evening. I want people to understand it. I give actually a step-by-step process in the blog. The steps are pretty simple, right? You create the goal. What is your goal? You understand the discipline needed and necessary to get to those goals. You apply some action. You invoke learning and education so you continually learn so you can become the best in that profession. And then you start to give some purpose, some gratitude, mix of that. And we go all into detail in the blog. But I want people to understand the $1 million business that you're trying to create in the evening is just the mindset that you give yourself that you're not done. The mindset that you get, and I said it early on, from 9 to 5. As soon as you clock out, oh, I'm done. I'm done working. This is not my problem. I already did it. Then it stops you from being more proactive in your day because your brain already clocked out. Your brain already shut down. It's already in comfort zone. It's already in complacency level. And you are trying to get it out and to take action. Well, you have to do it incrementally. You can't just say, okay, well, now I'm going to start my business 7 to 11. You have to make small incremental changes. The best way that you can do that is by writing down your schedule, your 24-hour time blocking. You're going to see after you get off from work, you're going to see the things that you do. You're going to find that you don't do much. You're going to say, oh, I probably spend 2 hours on my phone. I eat dinner 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it takes. Maybe you prepare dinner that could take a little bit longer. So you start to look at everything, right? Football games, 3 hours, whatever. Now you have a clear understanding of your day, your week, whatever. When you have a clear understanding of it, you have to say, okay, can I give this up? If you watching The Office or if you watching a series is getting in the way of your 5 hours, get rid of it. I understand it's going to be hard in the beginning because you want it, you like it, but I'm not saying you have to get rid of it forever. I'm just asking for a little bit of that time that you're using in an area that's not going to make you better to make you better. The TV is not going to make you better. It's costing you money. It's costing you time. It's costing you happiness and fulfillment and purpose. Drive towards something better. You have to figure that out. The things that don't bring you goodness should be put on the back burner. Not the things that are going to bring you goodness on the back burner. Switch it up. Many people, again, they're living life backwards. They say, I'm going to be happy at 65 instead of 35. Why not be happy today? Why not be happy now? So the blueprint of life is not simply talking about, well, how can you make $1 million business? It's going to be creating the $1 million mindset that the work that you can do is not done. There is no rest. There is no moment of reprieve. There is going to be a constant churning that you're trying to move forward. You're trying to get to the places that you want to get to. If you don't get there, if you're having a hard time getting there, that's going to be because you don't have the mindset, you don't have the actions, you don't have discipline. How do you get it? So in closing, I encourage everyone to read this blog, The Blueprint to Build $1 Million Business, in the evening. That business does not have to be a physical brick and mortar business. It does not even have to be an online business. It could be just the $1 million life, the $1 million you. What does that look like? It might be that you spend more time with your family. It might be that you stop wasting time in your 24 hours. It might be that you make a list of things that you want to accomplish before you die. It might be learning skills like focusing on the small aspects and then they equate to the big things. Because at the end of the day, we are going to be limited to 24 hours and we don't want to waste it on things like social media and TVs that are not going to bring about long-term happiness. So what is going to bring about happiness in your life? What is going to bring about some level of understanding that you are doing the best that you can each and every moment of your day? Because the $1 million business is not built sitting on the sofa doing nothing. It is built taking action and being proactive. Whether you're learning or if you're doing actions that are going to give you better results, you need to make the change today. As I was saying, when you are on this process, it's going to be difficult in the beginning. I always recommend getting a coach for the first stage of this process. And then, of course, you can do some work and then get a coach again. So it's like you can take a break. If you don't take a break, you're going to have a lot more accountability. You might miss a lot of the hiccups and the trials and errors along the way, which are a good thing. You want to do the best that you can as quick as possible. I understand in life you're supposed to enjoy the good and the bad, but if you can mitigate some of the hardships like sitting on the sofa, eating pizza and stuff like that because it feels good, you're going to solve a lot of the problems that you're going to have to fix later when you're overweight, when you're unhappy. It's not going to be the money that you're looking for. It's going to be the fulfillment. It's going to be now getting the discipline. When you're creating the discipline for that $1 million life, you might not have $1 million in the bank account, but you're going to have the $1 million habits that you're looking for. And that's going to create the first $1 million business. That's going to create the second $1 million business, the third, and so on. And so you also instill that into your family and you instill that into your kids. And then they start to say, well, my life is not supposed to be sitting on the sofa or watching sitcoms all day or getting off work and on my days off, I just relax. There are no days off. If you want something like this, you need to take action every single day. If you are overweight, you take action every single day. If you are broke, you take action every single day. There's no break. There's no day off. If you're unhappy, you take action every single day. If you're not in the place you want to be, you take action every single day. And in this blog, this is what we talk about. You take action at every single moment you have an opportunity for. Most people think 7 to 11 is just dead time. It's not. It's opportunity time. You might clock out at 5 o'clock, but I want you to clock back in at 7. You get 2 hours to do what you have to do in your real life. You create a schedule that's going to say, well, those 2 hours, I'm going to say, I might have to go to the grocery store on Wednesday. And you make that for the whole week. You might say that you have to go to a game on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You make that part of your schedule. And you are going to say, maybe on Saturday and Sunday, when I'm not working my 9 to 5, I am going to work a 9 to 5, but I'm going to work a 9 to 5 in my business. And then in the evening times, if you want to switch it up, you can. Most people are going to have a hard time differentiating between the two. So you might have to work in the evening, even on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is not a chance for you to say, oh my God, it's the weekend. It's an opportunity for you to take another day to get closer to your goals. Sunday, the same thing. I don't hate Monday. I don't love Friday. Every single day is a work day. It might sound like a monotonous and unfulfilling and unpleasurable life, but I get more fulfillment from doing what I want to do, even though it's a huge amount of work. I get more fulfillment doing this than if I did sitting on the sofa watching a movie. Now I understand family time. I spend plenty of time with my family. I might take a 5-10 minute break, lay down, and just talk with them. And that's it. That is enough to recharge me, get me ready for the day, get me ready to keep on going. Most people, they think, oh, I need 3 hours of TV. I need 3 hours of this. When in reality, you need just a couple of minutes. It takes about 5, no more than 15 minutes, depending on the activity level, to recharge you about 80%. So if you can find what charges you in 5 minutes rather than in 15 minutes, you're going to find that you're more effective in your day. You're more effective with your time. My family charges me up in 5 minutes. 5 minutes with them is going to be probably equivalent to 10 hours of TV for you. Most people, most parents, they could probably say the same thing, but yet they don't have the action or the discipline that goes beyond it. They spend 10 minutes with their family or 20 minutes with their family or 30 minutes with their family, and you're not going to regret spending time with your family. But if you're giving yourself an incentive to do something big, building something big that's going to change your world, the life, and everyone around you, then at that point, yes, you are making sacrifice. But you're making sacrifice because you want to, not because you have to. There's something that you have to do in this life. It might not be creating $1 million business, but it will involve creating a legacy. When you create a business, typically that can be legacy bound. You can give it to your family. You can give it a notion. You can give it a mark in history. That can be good. That could be something good, but it's also going to have an effect on you. This is what you built. This is what you created. Most people, when they pass away, they have nothing to give. They have no legacy built. They'll be forgotten by 5 p.m. Do you want to live that life? Do you want to live a life that was unfulfilled? A life that destiny was going to be involved in? Most people, they want to live a fulfilling life. Most people want to live like their life had some type of meaning, but you're doing meaningless things in your day. You're doing meaningless things in your evening and on your weekends. So become more proactive, become more honed in on what you should be doing. If you have a hard time doing that, head over to revenconcepts.com, get yourself some coaching, get yourself a new mindset that's going to help you build $1 million business in the evenings. Or maybe if you have already mastered your evenings, looking at how you can master the morning. Whichever you choose, take action today. My name is Michael Reardon. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.